So in this batch of episodes, we see Taylor and Garrett get into like their first big-ish argument. It does get resolved. But what do we think about the whole situation with Garrett and his ex? Obviously, Garrett's ex reached out to Garrett via Instagram. It's always Instagram. I guess Instagram is the cheating out here. And the whole scandal was that he told Taylor that he liked the message of when the ex reached out, and he left it at that and kind of forgot it. Like as if maybe he had meant to reply, but he just forgot it, didn't think about it. And then he basically tried to drop that on Taylor casually. Then later in the evening, he's telling the situation to Tyler and Ashley while Taylor is there. But now the story has changed, and now it's, he texted her basically saying like, he's with somebody else, he's engaged now, and he wishes her the best. But that's not what he told Taylor. So obviously Taylor's been cheated on before, so now it's kind of like, well, now you're telling me two different things. It's suspicious. And he's trying to lie and be like, oh no, I did tell you that I messaged her. And she texts him and she's like, no, you fucking didn't. Like, let's be fucking clear here, bitch. So they're going back and forth. Garrett is being very dismissive, which I did not like, and it was a red flag. Another thing that I didn't like is when Taylor is expressing like, this is not cool. Obviously, I'm not accusing you of anything, but it looks bad and it's giving me anxiety. And he's trying to be like, obviously I understand where you're coming from, but I just feel like you're missing some understanding and empathy. And for me, that was a red flag, because that was definitely like an emotional manipulation tactic. Because Garrett, you knew you were in the wrong. And you quite frankly deserved that telling off. And I think that was a tactic to try and minimize Taylor's feelings. But anyway, they seem to sort it out. Taylor, I guess, saw the text that he said that he sent her, and she basically says that, yes, it was a lot more friendlier than I thought it was going to be. And now I feel like shit for, being mean to him, accusing him of things, yada, yada, yada. But I personally don't think that Taylor has anything to apologize for, simply because Garrett was moving shady, moving weird. And you really can't put anything past these men. Garrett also said, I don't think we should be exchanging messages anymore. But if it was just two messages, exchanging messages anymore makes it sound like there was more than, one or two messages. And on Instagram, you can unsend messages. Just saying. Now, personally, I don't think that Garrett was messing with his ex. But I also don't think it was a misunderstanding. I think maybe Garrett didn't want to bring it up, period, because he didn't want an emotional response from Taylor. And I feel like his initial approach was that he was just going to act like his ex messaging him wasn't that big of a deal. Like, oh yeah, she messaged me, I liked the message, but I'm with you now, I'm engaged now, like, yeah. Hoping that she was just going to skip past it. Obviously she didn't, and he was kind of like, oh shit, like, oh, she's making a big deal out of it. Because I think maybe in his head initially, the first thing that he said sounded better than him now messaging the ex back. Because then it becomes, oh, you're messaging your ex. And that very well could have been a reaction, but I feel like he should have just been forthcoming and said, look, my ex messaged me. I messaged her back telling her that, I'm with you now, but I just wanted to let you know. She very well could have had the same reaction, but for me, it was just a bit shady that he just didn't tell the truth in the first place. And like I said, it was on Instagram. On Instagram, you can unsend messages. But let me know what you guys think with that whole situation. Was it just a misunderstanding, or do you feel like Garrett was being a little shady, changing his story around? Do we think those messages were entirely innocent? Let me know what you guys think. Also, I forgot to add that I thought it was strange that he had an ex as well, simply because in the pods he made it seem like he doesn't have time for dating and he lives this life of solitude. And yet there is this ex out here. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are.